record to this computer. All right. So I'm not going to waste too much time. I am going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I am recording this call, so I don't want to waste anybody's time. Shout out to the few of y'all that are here, right? But really, make sure that y'all taking notes because, like I said, it's all about. I'm gonna start off with candles. Make sure you understand candles, what each candle means on each time frame, so on and so forth. And then I'll actually go deeper into Heiken Ashi candles and introduce y'all to a resource that'll help you start learning about candlestick patterns. Okay. Because especially if you're just doing naked Forex, which is just trading market structure, or even any other strategy in general, right? Even if, let's use colors, for example. Dr. Spiller talks about rejection. The only way you know about rejection if you know about the different candlestick patterns, doji, hammer, stuff like that. So I'll make sure I'll introduce y'all to that resource as well. So the following week, we can catch up and I can go over the different candlestick patterns. All right. So what you need to understand about a candle, first and foremost, is the fact that in the candle you have, it's all about the open and close of a candle. Okay, I'm actually gonna draw it out. All right, so let me get a rectangle. All right, I'm gonna fill this in. Okay, we're just gonna say this is a sell candle. Okay, then you have your then you're gonna have your, can I do this one? Yeah, I can. One behind it though. Let me just make it red. Wick. Okay. Now, what you need to understand with a candle body is exactly this, right? So for there's a difference between a sell and a buy candle. Okay. On my chart, my buys are white, my sell candles are blue, but I'm gonna talk generic terms right now so y'all understand exactly what I'm going over. Okay. So when you look at this candle body, when it comes to a sell candle, now I'm going over sell candle first, right? You got to understand a few terms, okay? Open, right? Where the candle opens and close, okay? Boom. So you need to understand those two words first and foremost, open and close, okay? Now, these apply to the candle body, all right? The part that is filled in, not the wicks, the part that is filled in, this is the candle body. So what you need to understand is, right? So this is a sell candle, okay? This is a sell candle. What you need to understand is that the market opened up here at the top of the sell candle. This is where it opened, and this is where it closed. Okay. Now, the question you might have next is how do you determine how long does a candle, stay open, or how long does it take for a candle to close? Okay. Each time frame represents how long that candle lasts, right? How much that candle is worth as far as time. So if you're on the 1 minute time frame, this candle stands for 1 minute. So it opened and closed in a total span of 1 minute. If we change the time frame to 1 hour, this candle, you will see, but this candle opened and closed in a span of 1 hour. Okay. Well, it disappeared on me. There you go. Okay. So when you start looking at it from that standpoint, okay, your time frame determines how much a candle is worth. And that determines the open and close of that candle. Okay. Now, what you need to understand next is these wicks. Okay. These wicks are where price went. Price has reached this area before in the span of this candle. So your open and close tell you, okay, at the beginning of a minute, price was up here. At the end of a minute, price ended down here. And this is for a sell candle. Now, in the span of that minute, price opened up here, went all the way up here, went all the way down there, and then closed right here. The wicks just tell you where price has been. Wicks tell you where price has been, right? They tell you where price has been. So keep this in mind when you start looking at these candles. So like, for example, this candle here, right? This candle opened and closed very much at the same price, but in the span of a minute, it went up here and went down there and closed in a buy candle. Okay. So you have the sell candle. I'm actually going to hit and draw. I'm about to draw the buy candle as well. Okay. Boom. Okay. So this is the buy candle. Now with the buy candle, right? I'm actually going to change this color too. Boom. Open is down here. And close is up here. Okay. So when you think about a buy candle, you need to understand the fact that price started lower, but at the end of whatever time frame that you're on, it ended higher than where you entered at. Okay. So what you need to understand next, all right, buy candle, sell candle. This all makes sense so far. Drop a 7 in the chat. Okay. Now, what I need y'all to understand next is like same thing with the wicks. All right, price can go up and down, no matter what the case may be, but it closed here. So that's the difference between the candle body and the candle wicks. Okay. Now, what you need to understand is time frames. Okay. No matter what time frame you're on, the same rule still applies. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna emphasize this. Okay. When you go to the 4 hour, you see this candle's different. So when you think about different candles, you have to understand that same rule applies. This is my sell candle. Candle opened up here. The candle hasn't closed yet, but right now, this is where current price is. So this is a better example here. Price opened here, price closed here, right? This wick just tells you where price was above and below. So price traveled all of this in the market, but ended up closing up here, all right? You will start hearing a saying about how the wicks tell a story, and then that's when you start going into candlestick patterns, and that's what I'm gonna go over next week. Okay, so whatever time frame you're on, you need to pay attention to the candle. So this open, this doesn't close until the end of 4 hours. So each of these candles are worth 4 hours. You on the 1 hour, each of these candles are worth 1 hour time. So this is 5 o'clock. This candle opened at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock Central. This candle doesn't close until 8 p.m. Central. So right now, it's a green candle, right? But you also see where price has been in the span of this hour. Price ended up going down here and up here, and it's still a buy candle, okay? So please pay attention to that when you start going over your different time frames. Because remember, in the first week, I talked about different traders. Are you a swing trader? Right? Are you somebody who likes to look at the markets in a long period of time, working with the 4 hour, the daily, right? Are you an intraday trader? Are you somebody who likes to work in between the days, who might trade for an entire day, 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute? Are you a scalper? Are you somebody who's going to, get in, get out in 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute time frame? The reason this is important, because when you start doing your analysis, right, start looking at SRT, start looking at trend lines. This is where you start putting everything together, because now you understand exactly what these candles are telling as far as a story, right? Boom. You see all these wicks are telling a story, but you don't even know what these are if you don't understand open and close, right? Because you see, this is a perfect example, right? You have support turn into resistance right here. The reason why this is validated is because of the multiple wicks on a 15-minute time frame. These wicks are telling a story. This candle opened here, closed down here, but it traveled all of this price. This is telling you something. So the wicks, when I tell you this, right, the wicks tell a story. They'll usually tell you who has control, whether it's the buyers or the sellers. So if you look at this wick and you see a sell candle and you see a long wick to the upside, that show you that the sellers are still in control. The buyers attempted to gain power, but the sellers have main control right now, right? If you see a buy candle, or you see a candle with a long wick to the downside, this means that the buyers are gaining control, right? This is why there was consolidation here. Then what? You had another wick telling you the sellers are in control, and you had a minor little drop off. Again, this is a new day, so ain't too much going on right now. But making sense? This is Friday. Find a better example. This one right here, right? Long wick to the downside, but this candle not only closed as a buy candle, shows you that the buyers got control, ended up buying for most of the day or the rest of the morning into the night. Okay. So understanding candlesticks is definitely something that's very, very essential. And I really wanted to put emphasis on this week, because it's not going to be such a long training, just because, once you start having understanding and take down these key terms, you can apply this and start looking at it on your own. Start looking at the candles, right? When you start seeing these candles with multiple wicks on both sides, do you see consolidation? Do you see a trend? Start putting the pieces together that I did in week 1 and week 2, and you start seeing things a little bit differently, right? It's not a coincidence that when you start seeing all these wicks, that you just are in consolidation, right? When you start seeing all these wicks, you're in a amount of consolidation, right? Wicks will tell you the story. The sellers definitely got control. So why would you buy here? The buyers finally gain control again. Why would you sell here? Consolidation, up, boom, right? Understanding the candle really save you from getting in at the wrong time, and make sure you truly understand what's going on, right? Boom. Sellers are trying to get more control. Buyers aren't letting it happen. They bought for the next 2 hours. Right? Boom. This is how you use that on top of trend lines, SRT, to really make sure that you're reading the market correctly. Right? Guess what? This is entirely that. This is a downtrend. Right? Just apply this together. You have a downtrend, right? Every time it touched the trend down here, it rejected it, right? Rejected it. Then it finally rejected this support level here, right? Finally rejected this support level here, a resistance level. Rejection, rejection. This is a candlestick pattern. You'll learn this next week. Sell off, consolidation, right? So I just wanted to show y'all something as far as the candles go, because if you're looking at the chart, even if you're doing copy and paste, if you're looking at the chart on your phone, I'd rather you understand what a candle means instead of just looking at it confused, putting in trades. All right. The next thing I'm gonna go over is Heiken Ashi, and then that's it for this week. I really keep it short and sweet and simple, but I want y'all to see what Heiken Ashi means. Okay. If you had to put a term or a definition to Heiken Ashi, I'll say the Japanese definition is average bar. Okay. What this means is each of this candle is just representing an average of what the market is doing. Right. The reason why Heiken Ashi is often used is because it shows you the true momentum of the market. Okay, I'm gonna go over how to read a Heiken Ashi candle and go over exactly what it means. Okay, so just keep a visual image of what you see right now as far as Heiken Ashi candles. Right. Again, my white ones are sells, my blue ones are buys. Okay, my white ones are sells, my blue ones are buys. Boom. Okay. Now, look at the candles. Again, my white ones are buys, blue ones sells is flipped. Okay. But you see all this noise in the wicks, and look to see how Heiken Ashi kind of signifies the same thing, but still tells you who has control of the market. Okay. So I'm gonna break this down. For the buy candle, for the Heiken Ashi buy candle, okay, I'm gonna do Heiken Ashi buy candle, okay. It's gonna look like this, okay. You're gonna see it like this, and then you will have, if anything, you will have a wick at the top. 9 times out of 10, you have the wick at the top. Okay. So what you're looking for out of a Heiken Ashi candle is, we're going to use this as an example here. Okay. The shorter the body of the candle, the less the momentum of the buyers. So the shorter of the Heiken Ashi candle that you see, the less momentum that the buyer or seller has. And this works for both ways. So again, for the buys, the shorter the candle gets, the less momentum they have. Same thing for the sells, right? Same thing for the sells. The less momentum, the smaller the body of the candle is, the less the momentum they have. Put my stuff in the charge real quick. Boom. Now, the longer the candle, the more momentum the buyer or seller has. So, for example, you see right here, the longer the candles, the more the market moves in that direction. The longer the candles, the faster the market moves in that direction. Okay. Okay. So let me check something real quick. Boom. So again, that's what you need to understand about a Heiken Ashi candle. All right. When you are looking for buys, my blue one on the buy candles, you are looking for little to no wick on the downside. All right. So that's something that you can add to your notes as well. You're looking for little to no wick on the downside. Right? Because that goes in turns with how big the candle body is. The bigger the candle body, the stronger the momentum. The smaller the wick, the more momentum the buyers or seller have. So for the buyers, if you have little to no wick on the bottom, that is more momentum that the buyers have. As soon as you start seeing these wicks come into play, that's when the momentum is dying down. See this right here? When you start seeing wicks on the lower side, that's when the buyer's momentum is starting to die down, right? Sellers. For the sellers, you're looking for little to no wick on the top side. You're looking for little to no wick on the top side, right? The smaller the wick, the stronger momentum of the sellers. The smaller the wick, the stronger the momentum of the sellers, right? And again, you see these wicks on the bottom side, that means the buyers definitely have no control, right? And that's why market kept pushing down. Now, when you start seeing the sellers have wicks on the top side, that's when you start seeing the market die down, right here, consolidation, right? So you start seeing this wick on the top side getting longer and longer. That means you're starting to get into consolidation and the momentum's dying down. That leads to indecision, right? Perfect example here. And the body's getting smaller. Now you're getting wicks on the top side. Consolidation, right? I'm gonna mark this real quick and show you exactly what it looks like on the regular candles, right? Scroll back, consolidation. Nobody has control in this span of 2 to 3 hours, right? Go back to Heiken Ashi. Boom. Nobody has control until right here. Now, with every candle, the difference between the open and close is it opens in the middle of the previous candle. The next candle opens in the middle of the previous candle. So again, Heiken Ashi candles are there for you to see the trend of the market, the true trend of the market, right? So if you ever need to actually look at price, just switch back to the candles to see current price at that time to get the actual price to see it. But if you are just analyzing or looking to catch the true trend of the market, right, you can be a trend trader. You can definitely be a trend trader. And you ain't got to worry about, you can still read the levels because the price is over here to the right-hand side. Want to play it safe, put it down here, so on and so forth. You can actually tie this to colors, okay? So longer the body, stronger the momentum. Momentum dies down, consolidation, sellers came in, consolidation, but so on and so forth, okay? Candle opens in the middle of the previous candle, right? The candle closes. The way the candle closes will determine how strong the momentum was in that candle. So in the span of 15 minutes, it was definitely strong in this candle, and then it started dying down by this candle, right? The sellers started off small as far as sellers' momentum, then they got very, very strong, little correction, got strong again, consolidation, right? Let's look at this one. because I really want y'all to see how Heiken Ashi candles work, right? We're going to look at this. So right now, you see on Heiken Ashi, started off small. That means buyers and sellers were fighting for control, but the sellers started gaining momentum, right? Right here is a retracement. So I'm actually going to put another box here just so we can see exactly what happened there. And then, boom, okay? So what we're going to do, let's go back to the candles, right? Guess what? Sellers finally gained control. You had a small little retracement and continue selling off. So you are not, this is, Heiken Ashi will keep you from looking at all the noise. I will tell you, okay, no matter what retracement or what buyers come into the market, the sellers still have control. So just be patient. Okay? Heiken Ashi come back. You looking at Heiken Ashi, you're not even worried about any minor pullback because you still see the seller's momentum going strong. Nothing told you otherwise yet. You don't get nothing to tell you otherwise until you right here. So you could have held this trade all the way up to here, or, you know, your take profit is probably like right around here, something like that. Okay. So this is how you use Heiken Ashi. And this is something I really just wanted to introduce to y'all just because that's something that I've been using. And it's really not talked about a lot. And the fact that, you know, for anybody who's afraid or who gets anxiety from looking at the chart just go up and down all day, why not mitigate that noise and look at something that's going to tell you the true trend of the market? All you need to understand, the longer the body, the stronger the momentum. The smaller the body, the weaker the momentum. The longer the wicks, the more noise is in there. The smaller the wicks, the less you got to worry about. If you got wicks on both sides, consolidation, don't trade it. Wicks on both sides, consolidation, you're not trading it, okay? Outside of that, I'm going to give you this resource. I'm going to drop it in the chat. I'm actually about to look for it now real quick. But what's it going to be is the Japanese candlestick pattern, okay? Or the Japanese candlestick Bible. Sorry, the candlestick Bible. What you need to know about the candlestick Bible is it's going to go through a series of different patterns, okay? What you need to understand is exactly, share, copy. Right, it's going to tell you different ones: doji, butterfly, gravestone, hammer, pins, whatever. It's going to tell you everything, okay? But what I need y'all to do is go through this week, because this is what I'm going to be going over next week. Okay, this is exactly what I'm going over next week. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, this, yeah, this. Okay, let's send it now. It's gonna be dropped in World Circle Academy and World News. So should be done sharing very soon. But let's see. It's not that big of a document, so I don't know why it's taking forever. But while I was doing that, anybody got any questions or anything? Everything made sense as far as candles, because that really be the biggest thing. A lot of people don't understand actual candles at the end of the day. So I wanted to make sure that y'all understand candles. Okay, it did drop. It was just being slow on my end. So this dropped. It's in there. Look at the candlestick trading Bible. It's not that long. It's really not that complicated to get through, per se. It does. I mean, it looks like a lot of pages, but you're just going through the examples, honestly. But by next week, once I start the call, I see where people got to, and that'll determine how far I get into the candlestick Bible. But other than that, there's no other questions. There's nothing else that y'all have any confusion on or anything like that. I definitely appreciate y'all for taking the time to hop on this call this evening. Again, this was recorded, so I am going to put it on my YouTube once it gets done loading to my laptop. So within the next hour or so, you will have access to watch this recording as well. But other than that, I appreciate y'all for taking the time to hop on this call, and I'll see y'all next week.